Time where I can get it from, and I've been losing the grip on what I used to hold. If I could get another chance and put it in this thought bag and keep it in my pocket, keep it in my pocket, keep it in my pocket. Tell me when I start slowing you shout me what I need to do before you have me. I will never leave, but that's so sad. Before you're better off without me. Before you're better off without me. I've been watching. Just like everybody should be. Sleeping with the trouble. What's up? What's up? What's up? Probably all about me. Better off without me. If I could get another chance, put it in a Ziploc bag. You're all going to be wishing you could get another chance if you do not listen to tonight's transmission and apply it. This one is one you want to listen to. Basically foretelling the future here, okay? But I'm not foretelling shit. It's all written down. It's all in their documents. I've got the battle plan all figured out. I think Jones might even have to tip his hat to this one. Tonight is important. Let's see. I got a backwards hat, lip ring, nose rings. Got my plugs. See that? The cross with bones. I've got my big gulp. My big gulp. I know there's at least one person out there that fucking can't stand this thing. Cheers to you, brother. And of course, my bad attitude is here tonight, and I've got some topics that are probably going to get me in trouble this week, but everybody needs to hear it. If you notice, my voice is a little effed up. I caught that thing that's going around, and I was sicker than shit about 2 days ago. I'm going to give you a little demonstration at the end of the show on how I was able to get off my feet so fast and have so much energy tonight. It is Sunday, January 18th in the year of our Lord 2026. Coming to you live from FEMA Region 8. I'm, of course, Vinny Derry with The Vinny Derry Show. Like I already said, this is one you're not going to want to miss. The featured stories will be the real plan to save our currency, my plan. Now, of course, I'm mimicking the people that have done it in the past, but most people don't understand how we got to the point we are right now with the extreme debt and all that shit. I've got the plan that will get us back on top. And I'll give you a little hint. It's very similar to my take on how we can actually get the illegal immigrants out of here without having American lives on the streets and setting us up for a complete tyranny. With that being said, I'll be covering Project Zephyr and POGO. They're Israeli projects to round up people like me. And of course, a major warning about Minneapolis with much more. As we always do, let's start tonight with a Bible reading from the Luther Bible. Get in here quick. This one comes from Deuteronomy 43. The foreigner who is with you will rise higher and higher above you, but you will sink lower and lower. He will lend to you, but you will not be lent to him. He will be the head, and you will be the tail. All these curses will come on you and pursue you and overtake you until you are destroyed, because you did not obey the voice of the Lord your God and did not keep his commandments and his statutes that he commanded you. And these curses will be signs and wonders on you and your neighbors. Now, that isn't necessarily the illegal immigrants. So, as always, we'll get into my notes from church today that they have nothing to do with Deuteronomy. Nothing to do with Deuteronomy, but rather 2 Peter 3. I'm just going to read my notes straight up. I'll throw you a couple of other Bible verses that you can look up yourself that kind of pertain to this. But remember the Old Testament and the commands given by Christ. Both of them are important. In the last days, people will ask, where is this end he said was coming? They deliberately forget that long ago, by God's word, the heavens existed and the earth was formed out of water by water. Do not be swayed by the scoffers. They are being kept for the day of judgment and destruction of ungodly men. To the Lord, a day is like 1,000 years. The day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night. Heavens will disappear with a roar. The elements will be destroyed by fire, and all will be laid bare. Run from those that know the day. If somebody comes onto their podcast and says, the day that that Jesus is coming back is August 3rd, 2026, run. Okay? Run. But be sure you're ready for his return. Meaning, live with God. Do your best to get in good with God. I may be a hypocrite, I'll be honest, but um, that means live a godly life, perfect, if you can. I know in this day and age it's pretty fucking close to impossible. But I'm also not here to tell you that it's okay to just do whatever you want and expect to be forgiven. Okay, it's not my job to judge, but I guess we all probably have a little bit of work to do with the Lord. But be sure you're ready for his return, for out of the destruction of heaven and earth, it will be reformed pure, perfect for eternity. So look forward to this. Bring people to the word and live godly. Jesus Christ returns as soon as the entire world preaches the gospel. And I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty good to me. So anyway, a couple more Bible verses to go off of for this would be Romans 2:4, Matthew 24:14, and Revelation 21. Now, I'm not going to waste any time this week getting into Israel news because they kind of have something to do with my Bible verse. Of all the people, right? Oops. Imagine that, right? Vinny's talking about Israel again. Well, they're the front for the central banks, so it's kind of important. So anyway, oh yeah, let's just go straight into Owen here. I will let Owen Schroyer break it down for you. Where the hell is it? Where is it? Talking about invaders. Uh-oh. Is that not? Oh my god, is it not on here? Maybe it was from work. Oh, you gotta be kidding me right now. Oh, I'm pretty sure it was a screen record. Oh my god. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. this the one?
I do. And I hope that by thinking of it, it can change.
No. Well, I guess I don't need Owens on this. I have other ones. It's too bad. I wanted to put Owen on the show. That is from... Here we go.
Curious Joel, a village of 44,000 Hasidic Jews in upstate New York that primarily speak Yiddish, have an average of 7 kids per family, rely heavily on state assistance and welfare programs like Medicare, SNAP, housing assistance, and tax credits from their many kids. How many kids do most people have out here?
17, 18.
How do they afford 17, 18 kids?
They are proud to do what the third said, that we need to be multiple and fruitful.
Yeah, must be nice, huh?
Kids out here. Community is based on this. So, okay, so is it wealthy members of the community give charity?
Yes, mostly. I don't talk to suspicious person.
How am I suspicious? Do you study Torah?
You work for Hamas?
What do you do for work?
Uh-huh.
How do you make money?
Why?
Why?
I'm doing home care.
Okay.
Oh, home care, huh? Almost like the Somalis, right?
I don't know. I can't speak for other people. What about you?
I'm never going to tell about myself.
One thing I'm curious about, though, is the welfare use. Are you on welfare?
No, the Jewish people, just in case, Joe, their taxes covers everything that we take back.
Oh, really?
You know anyone on welfare here?
I won't comment on that question.
Come on. Why not? What do you guys do for work here?
Not a fucking thing.
You guys have like businesses, like a job, study Torah.
I have a job.
What do you do?
How do you sell?
What do you sell?
Food.
Okay.
Food.
What do you sell?
Chocolate.
Chocolates.
What? I feel like I'm getting bamboozled right here. Excuse me. You guys take EBT. What percentage of people would you say use EBT for their groceries here?
100%. Did you hear that?
A little bit difficult to conclude what to take away from that. Talk in here and say shalom. Synagogue? Lots of people praying. I'm not sure the schedule exactly, but 9 o'clock sharp. How that work? Question for you. What do most men do for work here? Can you give me some ideas? Oh, I'm just asking the Jews out here. What do you mean? Do people here survive off of welfare? BT?
Like all of the communities. They have 8 kids. You can also get benefits.
Oh, yeah.
$259.
Benefits that most working Americans can't get, right? Just exploiting the system as if we don't already send them enough. The tens of billions that we send Israel every year just for them to buy their own weapons with. We pay for their welfare. We pay for...
Thursday night. You had 6 of them there.
Yeah, it's not any different. This little community in upstate New York is no different than how they actually live in Israel. Still based off of our tax dollars that we send them. It shows a massive amount of welfare fraud in a population that's predominantly rich. So in the United States, I think it was like I don't know stats numbers on this, but most of the rich people, the super rich, stupid rich people in America are Jewish. So in a predominantly rich population, they have an entire town worth, I think it was 40,000 or something, of these Hasidic Jews. Yeah, 44,000 Hasidic Jews that utilize welfare programs. So not only do they fuck us by we send tens of billions to Israel, but they literally live here the same fucking way. In Israel, we're paying for their housing, we're paying for their healthcare, we're paying for their schooling, and we do it right here in America too. But if you have a job, you live worse than most people that don't do a living motherfucking thing all week. They get to raise their children, they get to spend time with their children, they get time to go pray, they get time to do all this, and all their housing and everything is fucking paid for. But this little bit is a little bit besides the point. It shows that the Somalis aren't the only ones doing it. And the biggest hidden reason this video is blowing up, I will get at, is it puts this town in the crosshairs. So it puts the town of, I'm not going to say it, I guess. No, I'm not going to say it. I don't want to be part of that. So they can get possibly a Bondi Beach style violence. So they can roll out Project Zephyr and POGO onto us, which I will get into after Israel news. So basically what I think this video is doing is, of course, it didn't get blown up like the Somali fraud because, you know, we're not allowed to talk about the Khazarians. But for those that are going to see it, it's going to paint a picture. And with all the rhetoric that's been going on, that just makes it an easy target for somebody to go and do something there. And I don't want that to happen, not a single bit. I'm just saying it's a perfect setup for something like that to happen so that we fall under, oh, let's see, do I have a, yeah. So we fall under, let's look at this. No, not that. Come on. No, oh my God. Here we go. So we get what Australia is getting.
This afternoon to the Speaker of the House of Representatives for Parliament to be recalled next Monday and Tuesday, both the House of Representatives and the Senate. The legislation will then be debated on Tuesday in the House of Representatives. We intend to have that legislation pass the House before
hold on a minute.
time, which will.
It's going to get into the nitty-gritty here.
At 2 o'clock, and then will be considered by the Senate in the afternoon in order to ensure its passage on that day. The bill is the Combating Anti-Semitism, Hate and Extremism Bill. It's a comprehensive package of reforms which creates serious offences for hate preachers and leaders seeking to radicalise young Australians. It increases the penalties for hate crimes offences. It ensures that offenders whose crimes were motivated by extremism have that factored into their sentencing. It creates a new offence for inciting hatred in order to intimidate or harass.
Just remember that here in America, the ADL classifies
for people intent on spreading hate,
any
and it creates a new
calling out of Israel as anti-Semitism
as prohibited hate groups. Once an organisation is listed, it will be a criminal offence to be a member, to recruit for it, to donate or receive funds or support that group in any way. The legislation will also set up the National Guns Buyback Scheme, bringing
National Guns Buyback Program,
and getting guns off our streets.
Getting guns off our streets.
There are more guns now in Australia than there were at the time of the massacre.
As there fucking should be.
The terrorists at Bondi Beach had hatred in their minds, but guns in
their hands. It looked like an AI video to me.
We'll deal with both, and we do need to deal with both of these issues.
The people at Bondi Beach were either fucking retarded or that was AI and staged fake ass shit. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, all this shit is fake and gay. It really is. It's fake and gay. Oh, I don't even know why I put that down here. Let's see. Since we're on the fact of Israel, why don't we go and see what else we're up to, huh? Not that one.
Jeffrey Epstein was a billionaire New York businessman whose vast
So let's just pause that. So here's a list, Jeffrey Epstein's island visitors that was confirmed on the Epstein flight logs. I'm not going to name every name. I'm just going to scroll real fast, and I'm going to just get through it as fast as possible. If you want, after the show, I will be posting this to my X page and probably my Facebook page as well. So you can search it yourself. You can go down the names, and I'm definitely not going to name all of them, okay? We got Al Gore, Akon, Anderson Cooper, Angelina Jolie, Anthony Weiner, of course. Look up Fazzled.rip if you want to see the kind of other evil that Hillary Clinton did. There's even pictures. Be sure you're ready for that one before you go in there. You don't come out quite the same after going down that rabbit hole. Sorry. You got Bernie Sanders, Ben Affleck, Barack Obama, Beyonce, Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, Bob Saget, Bruce Willis, Celine Dion, Charles Barkley, Charlie Sheen, Charlize Theron, Cher, Chris Tucker, Courtney Cox, Courtney Love, Demi Moore, David Spade, Drew Barrymore, Ellen DeGeneres, Eminem, imagine that. George Clooney, Gwen Stefani, Hillary Clinton, James Franco, Jay-Z, Jim Carrey, Jimmy Kimmel, Joe Biden, John Cusack, John Podesta, obviously, the Podesta plan that I've been talking about for months. John Travolta, Kathy Griffin, Katy Perry, Kevin Spacey, Lady Gaga. Lady, I don't know about that. Madonna, Meryl Streep, Michelle Obama, Miley Cyrus, Oprah, Orlando Bloom, Paris Hilton, Prince Andrew, Prince Charles, Quentin Tarantino, Rachel Maddow, Rihanna, Robert De Niro, Robert Downey Jr., Sarah Silverman, Seth Green, Stephen Colbert, Steven Tyler, the lead singer of Aerosmith, Tom Hanks, and Whoopi Goldberg. There's plenty more on there as well. And those are just confirmed from the flight logs to Little St. James Island. Okay, that means they were there. Without a doubt. And if you look at the names and what they stand for, and how they present themselves and all that, it makes perfect sense as to how the liberal left all of a sudden went fake and gay. Because every single person that's part of their news media outlets was on the fucking island. Let's see. I got one last one here. Here's a fun fact. Last weekend, I put this up. Where is she? So let's hear for yourself. This is about the document. I can't remember I've posted it many times on my page, but it's a document from the latest Epstein drop that implicated Donald Trump to be at the dump site for a 13-year-old pregnant woman that was killed, that said she was raped by Donald Trump. This is all alleged. It's all alleged. I don't have perfect proof, but as it shows itself, I'm going to keep showing you
I came to
guys.
this interview on my Facebook. No, there was nothing promised to me for doing this interview.
And we won't watch
Yes,
the whole thing.
everything that I say at this interview will be the truth. I met Donald Trump at some parties I attend that I was working for Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. There was about 3 or 4 times that I had encounters with Donald Trump. I was 13. The first time that I met Donald Trump was at a party at Jeffrey Epstein's mansion. There was an orgy going on, and he was kind of watching off in the distance. And he basically asked if I could come over and give him a hand job. And at first, I wasn't very comfortable with it. This was like my first party, and I didn't think that was responsibility. But my recruiter told me that I needed to do it. So I agreed to. And then he, I began to, sorry, this is a little difficult, but before I gave him a hand job.
Sorry, I guess this is a different 13-year-old.
He used a glove, and the recruiter ran over and handed me a glove and said, "No one touches Mr. Trump's penis without a glove." So I needed to use a glove. I gave him a hand job, and then immediately after, he had an orgasm, he left, and I didn't see him again at that party. Jeffrey Epstein is a billionaire friend of Donald Trump's that was responsible for throwing the sex parties. There was, I originally came to New York trying to be a model, and in my travels, I met a girl named Tiffany there, who was very interested in me.
That you can look on my profile after the show as well, and you can watch the whole 7-minute long video if you would like. Yeah, all this is pretty fucked up. Getting a hand job from a 13-year-old. You got to wear a glove with the big D, huh? I don't know, man. I don't know. Sorry, just adding a couple songs here in my playlist here. You guys won't hear it, but it helps me out. Holy shit. Okay. So let's get into the nitty-gritty with Project Zephyr and POGO. I'm going to have to read this off of a different phone. Because you have to go on Yandex to even get a single little thing about it, about either one of them. Let's see. So this comes from Goldberg. What's his first name? David Goldberg. So after he released this video talking about Project Zephyr and Project POGO, he ended up dead in 2019. And I do have the video. You know what? While playing this in the background, I'm just going to play himself in the background here.
Walk through everything that I've been deciphering and learning from these videos. Excuse me, from the document.
I don't know. Would somebody be able to message me, see if you can hear that?
So, we'll get into this. The crux of it, I want to just introduce you right away.
So anyway, there are too many Americans, more and more of them, that are suspicious of Israel. This has been going on for decades, going back to the 50s, the 60s.
More and more that are suspicious of Israel.
Oh, well, here we go.
More and more Americans aware of Zionism. This has been around for decades and decades. You go back to the 50s, 60s. There's a lot of literature about Zionism and Judaism. It's not unusual, but the difference is today.
Israel, its agents, their propagandists have been paying very, very close attention to this. They know this is happening. They are very concerned about it. That number is, according to documents, is now, I saw two numbers. It said 15%, and another number said 7%. I'd put that number now in 2026 to more like 60%. You know what? I'm just going to do it myself. Just proof that this video does exist. Look up Dustin Nemos on Rumble. That's the only platform, the only website, the only anything I've been able to pull this up because it's been scrubbed. Even on Yandex, I tried to watch the couple of videos that he made about it, and they're scrubbed. That tells me they know you know something if they scrubbed everything. So, the main part you really need to know, though, is that they have a plan for all of this. There is discussion within these documents years ago to ban YouTube channels, to shut it down. All of that, but they changed course. They decided instead of censoring everything, to fund and promote gatekeeper channels, shill channels. There's plenty of those, huh? To simply gather and collect all of the open-minded people who are looking at the issue. And they did shut down some of those legitimate channels. Some of those they've eliminated that they thought might be a threat or that might be calling out the gatekeeper channels. One really interesting aspect of all this is that the gatekeeper channels and the shill channels, typically these would be disinfo channels, talk about everything but never talk about Israel. Anybody think of a few do that? Maybe. What they created with these new gatekeeper channels is very truthful channels. They are very honest. They don't put out a lot of disinfo. They are actually legitimate, and that is done to give them credibility among those people who are awake. They call it tag, track, and ID. If you are watching these channels, if you are informed, if you are awake on these issues, they want to tag, they want to track you, and know exactly who you are. There are two projects. Project POGO is one of them, and Project Zephyr. The two projects that the classified documents are referring to each has a different role. Project POGO is about the YouTube gatekeepers who are paid to put out truthful information so that they can tag, track, and ID the people who are watching the videos. Project Zephyr, that is a second stage here that is coming up, and that is the extermination. They're going to exterminate these people, whether it is tag them for anti-Semitic speech, charge them with crimes, eliminate them completely, viral attacks, targeted. How they are going to eliminate these people without suspicion, without too many people noticing. But here's the problem. There is a progression in the timeline as the projects changed. Project Zephyr has changed. In the beginning, they were talking a lot about, okay, we are going to infect these people with a virus that imitates the flu virus. Remember, this is all wrote in before 2019. Okay? In the documents I have from 3 months ago, they're saying the amount of people they have to eliminate is too large. It is too many. We're talking about millions. They're going to initiate something that is devastating and extremely frightening. Based on what I can see in the documents, we are talking about power outages, along with a purge. They're going to come in, they're going to take you out of your home, put you in a military vehicle, a van, and drive you away and place you into a camp. Remember, I covered Rex 84, 3 weeks ago? Same shit, right? And that's an American document. Project POGO and Zephyr are Israeli documents. And I've been warning you about planned blackouts. And it would especially happen during the winter to freeze people out so that there would be less friction. They have a 3-day blackout. They have a nationwide blackout that lasts 2 days and a lot of localized blackouts. And of course, they will blame it on all kinds of things. They might blame it on Iran. Kind of a perfect setup, isn't it? Or Russia. As far as I can tell from Project Zephyr, they are planning this next year and the year after. They are not done tagging, tracking, and identifying everyone. There were a couple of indications of how far along they feel the project is. They are like 78% done. But it is coming to a close. In the next 6 months to a year, it is coming to a close, and that is when Project Zephyr will be initiated. They want to know who they are, they want to know where they live, and they're going to eliminate them at a date in the future. That is going way beyond the idea of passing laws to ban speech, which some states already have First Amendment breaking anti-Semitism laws, speech laws, which they are already doing, but they want to completely eliminate these people because they do stand in the way of the agenda. It is way too many for them to handle. It is of great concern to Israel. Okay, now we'll get into a little bit of the skepticism on this. Things that have already happened since this was written. Trump is going to declare himself king of Israel at some point, which they already kind of did. I showed you weeks ago him getting the trophy or whatever the fuck, and they said that he was the king of Israel. that's insane, dude. It's part of the process of the end game, basically, is what I'm saying. We will see what happens. It sounds ridiculous. Let's see. But Trump has brought chaos to politics, but it's actually opposite. It has been planned. Donald Trump's allegiance is to Israel. He is not only a Jew, he is a Freemason. He has been promised him his daughter and sons will enjoy very high ranking in the world government that they're forming, the capital which will be Jerusalem, which I have more documents to prove. Oh, geez, where are we here? I have more documents to prove that Israel is already the center of our nation. That Bibi Netanyahu is more the president than Donald Trump is. So that's why Donald Trump is so dedicated to his script. Everything he's done, I'm talking about the wall to fake news, was scripted from back around 2014 and 15. They told him the plan and he loved it. He jumped on board and they promised him great things, especially for his family, and simply follow their script. But he does have script writers. Stephen Miller is a big part of it. So that is the whole of it. I want to get this video out. I want people to hear it. I want people to know what's going on. This is from who we were just listening to, and the guy that they offed. I've had some strange things going on at my house. I've noticed black SUVs. They're still there. I know they're watching me. I assume I'm bugged, but I don't care anymore. I've been given the documents. I've been tasked with this duty to get the information out. I'm going to do it in any way that I can. I have given my friends copies of these. I have stored them in different places. I have a dead man switch in case something happens to me, which we were just listening to the said dead man switch. Okay, so now we'll get into POGO. What's Project POGO and Zephyr? As someone portrayed it on Reddit, Goldberg conveys the idea of ID 2020 as target track and ID and unveils the US's plan to link AI to the grid. On June 8th, David Goldberg passed away in his Brooklyn apartment. No cause of death was given and a cover-up began. Let's see. Okay. So Project POGO is the plan to track and identify every dissonant voice. So if you think for yourself, if you ask questions, POGO already has you. You have a phone, you have Wi-Fi, you have a smart TV, you have anything, and if you've ever questioned anything about anything, instead of just following left or right, you are included in this list. That's why more and more of us need to speak up. Speak up. Zephyr is the program to kill them or silence them and replace them by AI. He lists the plan in the following order: targeted virus, bank and land seizures, elimination, execution. Rome rules, Rockefeller, Rothschild, black nobility. David said that before COVID-19, 16 months, about May 2019, that's like I said. Let me get into this. Now, the lack of information and the fact that Goldberg was killed should already be sounding the alarm. This was said to prophesize COVID as it came out in 2019, but I think COVID was the test run because AI was not ready to be rolled over into the intense track hunt system it's required to be a part of. I already said last week that this whole ICE thing for illegals is a Trojan horse. A Trojan horse in a practice run to round up people that don't fall for the narrative so that they can mentally enslave the people in a 1984 style fabricated reality. Complete cognitive submission. I'll touch more on this when we get into Minneapolis, but for now, let's switch gears into what this could lead into. And what that can lead into is the North American Union. Okay, that's in pictures. All right, so I'll blow this up a little bit. What does the United States look like in this picture? In number 1, everything in green. That's Greenland. Okay. This group was organized this is from the Club of Rome, the Committee of 300. This group was organized in 1968 by the Morgenthau Group for the purpose of accelerating the plans to have the New World Order in place by the year 2000. They failed. In 1976, the United States Association of the Club of Rome was formed for the purpose of shutting down the U.S. economy gradually. The reason we're pursuing Greenland is this. The North American Union, where our constitution would be null and void. The only way to make the beast system possible. The United States is literally the only thing holding up the beast system from being able to happen because of our strong constitution. If we join, or if we create the North American Union, we would live under the bylaws of the North American Union, and our U.S. Constitution would be completely null and void. It would be done. No more freedom of speech. No more right to bear arms. Look at the EU. They have an unelected leader themselves by the name of Victoria Nuland. They pretend that they have people in charge, but they're ordered to war by Victoria Nuland, which is why Ukraine is still going on. That's why we basically have nothing to do with that and why we're funding it, because we get money to fund it. But pretty much everywhere that has a central bank is primed and ready. It would expand the Trilateral Commission founded by David Rockefeller in 1973, putting us into a situation much like the EU, with unelected officials deciding where we go to war and implementing policy. Like Victoria Nuland, the dictator of Europe, which will lead us to the next topic. And that is how I could fix our currency in 2 years max. It's already been done until the people who did it or were very close to doing it were killed. Now, if this could get out to somebody in the administration, someone with a bigger name, to blow this up, I would appreciate it. I researched the shit out of this, and I know it would work because it has worked plenty of times. Fix the currency. Our founding fathers did it. The real reason the American Revolutionary War was started is we created our own currency. Just like Lincoln's greenback. He created his own currency that wasn't run by the central bank. It was, we fix our system by creating a debt-free currency, bypassing major banks, reshaping the monetary system, erasing the central bank from having a say in our country's affairs. This starts by ending the Federal Reserve, which isn't federal and has no reserve. There's nothing. They're just making it up. They're making it up and turning our debt into monetary gains in Great Britain, where everything is based out of. That's where our gold is now, too, which I'll get into here in just a second. It was illegally established, the Federal Reserve was illegally established by the 16th Amendment, which never received the required amount of votes from Congress and shouldn't exist anyway. The central Rothschild's banks have been stealing from us, particularly the income tax. Fort Knox is empty. It has been since Nixon. Right versus left is created as a distraction from the vermin that are making us more... Holy shit, I can't even read my own handwriting. By making us monetarily live on our knees, creating currency and manipulating crashes just to make themselves rich and fund both sides of every war that we've been in for a very long time. In conclusion, we create a currency, a debtless currency that only works probably here in America. But why do we need it to work anywhere else except for here? A currency based off of our labor that they can't steal and send overseas because it'll be worthless overseas. And the Fed apply a 10% straight tax to everyone, from top of the richest of the rich to the poorest of the poor. Tax just 10% total. No sales tax, no none of that. Just like in the Bible, 10%. Your tithes. And that would be enough, more than enough, to keep our federally run programs running. Drop it on everything else, so drop taxes on everything else. And foreign funding, all of it. Under any